All right, the court will call the case of the Ranches of Rosebrook versus a Nice Battle, case number 25C 1245.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. David Fanter on behalf of the plaintiff.
Ms. Battle, please hit *6. Unmute your device and state.
Hello? Hello?
Please state.
It's a niece battle on a special appearance for the record to contest the jurisdiction and the facts for this court.
Yep. All right. Well, Ms. Battle, I'll tell you that this matter is appropriately in the correct court. The court does have jurisdiction.
And it's based on what? What is on the record that is based on that the court has jurisdiction?
The fact that this is a case that is within the jurisdiction of the Township of Ypsilanti, and if you have issues related to any contracts, that would be within this jurisdiction as well. So all of that is within the jurisdiction of this court.
So you're saying that the contract is in jurisdiction of the court?
That is what I just said, ma'am.
All right, and the contract has been rescinded. So how is the contract in the jurisdiction of the court if it's invalid?
Who gets to rescind a contract on their own? That's
what are you talking about? I have the right to rescind a contract by right of common law.
Ms. Battle,
that doesn't involve court.
Ma'am, you need to stop talking or you're going to get held in contempt of court. Mr. Fantier, have you had a chance to talk to Ms. Battle? Talk to Ms.
You're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Mr. Fantera, do you need to speak with her, or are we ready?
If you want me to speak to her, I'll speak to her. I mean, she talks about rescinding the contract. Does that mean she's moving out?
If only everything were that easy. She is rescinding the contract, which means that she retains all rights to reside there for free under the terms of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, the UCCC, and the USC as the estate holder of the straw man, whose allodial title was signed by the beneficiary. Now, you watch too many movies of sovereign citizens like me, if any of it made sense to you.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
Are you moving out?
Are you moving out?
No. Why would I have to move out?
Because if you rescind a contract, okay, fine. Your Honor, I think we just set this for trial.
Okay. One moment.
This case has also been in the circuit court. A petition filed for an injunction. I did serve you all. It is set on the 30th.
Yes, ma'am. I heard.
Okay. And once again, I do not submit to the jurisdiction of the court. The contract is rescinded.
So how can the contract?
I am not a legal person.
You're not a legal person?
How can a contract? No, I'm not a legal person. I'm not a legal entity. No, I am not. And you have to prove that on the record.
Actually, I don't.
I'm sorry?
Can I ask Ms. Battle a question, Your Honor, real quick?
Sure.
So, Ms. Battle, so you can live there forever without paying rent because you're not a legal person?
That's not what I'm saying, but the contract itself is invalid. I'm saying that you don't have any personal or subject matter jurisdiction over me. Over an invalid contract, no. And over me not having the legal capacity to be sued, yes. So if that's how you want to take it, then that's how you have to take it. But that's what's lawful, and that's what's written in the law.
Let me just tell you, I think you're wrong on both counts. I would expect that we would.
It's okay for you to think that I'm wrong, but the facts still align with what I'm saying.
Okay, Your Honor, I think we should have a trial.
You have to prove without the reasonable doubt. So let the record show that the judge has not required the plaintiff to prove without a reasonable doubt that I am a legal person, and it's on the record, not assumed, not presumed, on the record. There's nothing that's on the record that states.
Ms. Battle, first of all, reasonable doubt is a standard in a criminal case, not a civil case. So I do not have to prove anything beyond a reasonable doubt.
I need both of you to stop talking, please. Both of you. I'm sorry. I cannot figure out the date because I can't hear over the two of you.
I apologize. I didn't know that's what you were doing, Your Honor.
This matter is scheduled for May 6th at 3 p.m. for a trial on any and all issues that may be before the court. Ms. Bell, if you have anything else that you need to say, you can unmute yourself by hitting *6 to do that.
Okay, I just find it ironic that I got muted when I was speaking on jurisdiction and how there was a lack thereof on the record, so I want that to be on the record. But I also wanted to, okay, that's fine, and I also wanted to be on the record that I am not going to be able to show up on May the 6th, so it's also ironic that you are able to verify with him that he's able to show up and not with myself.
I just asked you that, and you are now talking about something else. Why can't you be here for 6?
That's because you cut me off and put me inside of a break room and muted my mic instead of allowing me to speak on what needs to be spoken on.
All right, this is set for May 6th at 3.
Go ahead, by Zoom? By Zoom?
Correct.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
It's ridiculous. This is a fraud upon the court. Goodbye.
No. Signing a lease without intending to pay rent is fraud on the part of the Dick Flute. Sovereign citizens are known for their ability to move into a home or flat and never have to pay rent. They can live rent-free until the eviction case progresses slowly through the courts, even though they will eventually be evicted okay. So let's proceed to the second idiot of the day.
All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Shane Leroy Raymer, file number 23-21665FH. This is the date and time set for a final pretrial conference. Today was the motion deadline for both motions and motion in limines to be heard. Jury instructions were to be provided to the court by April 2nd, along with any proposed voir dire questions. We are set for trial on April 22nd of 2025. Mr. Raymer, you are charged with police officer resisting and obstructing causing injury, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 4 years in prison. Police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing, that carries up to 2 years in prison. There's 2 of those, and then there's a disorderly. And what is the plea offer in this file?
Your Honor, the people have offered to a plea of 2 counts to attempted R&O.
All right.
So 2 misdemeanors, and we would kill a brute, no upfront jail.
All right. Mr. Raymer, the plea offer in this case was to plead to 2 one-year misdemeanors with no upfront jail, and there'd be like 12 months or so of probation, some minimal fines and costs. Do you understand that? All right. Now, Mr. Raymer, you know, I'm assuming you graduated from high school, right?
8th grade.
You went through 8th grade, and this is a felony that could result in you going to prison. Why don't you stand in front of that podium for me? So do you understand an attorney can help guide you through the legal process?
Yes, I tried to have, I almost had a public defender. Unfortunately, she wasn't representing me appropriately. I'd asked for another one, but.
So I have no authority over who gets appointed. You are appointed an attorney.
I understand that, but when they're not representing you appropriately.
Okay, I didn't ask that. I'm just saying you have a right to an attorney. I know the attorney you're referring to. She's diligent. She works hard. Maybe you didn't like, I know when I was a public defender, sometimes my clients didn't like what listen to me, I'm talking. My clients didn't like the things that I told them. But, you know, her job isn't to do what you want. Her job is to represent the law. So you understand at this point, you can hire an attorney, or you can go with the public defender and whoever they assign you, or you can go to trial pro per with no law degree, no experience, and risk going to prison. You're going to represent yourself.
I'm gonna represent I ain't got no choice but to represent.
Have you?
No. Signing a lease without intending to pay rent is fraud on the part of the Dick Flute. Sovereign citizens are known for their ability to move into a home or flat and never have to pay rent. They can live rent-free until the eviction case progresses slowly through the courts, even though they will eventually be evicted okay. So let's proceed to the second idiot of the day.
Why did your jury question the voir dire questions? Because if you haven't, they're waived.
If there's
No, they were due.
If there's evidence provided against me, I have a right to defend myself using that very same evidence.
That wasn't the question I asked you.
That's
You do
exactly.
have a right to defend yourself, Mr. Raymer. I'm just
My
simply-
right was violated.
I'm talking, you're not. If you don't stop talking and listen to me so I can go through my speech, I will send you over to the jail. Do you understand? All right. You have not filed any motions. Jury instructions were due and voir dire questions were due. You have not provided those. We gave you a copy of this. So do you understand what I've received is what will be used? Yes or no?
I will be allowed to ask my question.
What question?
When I'm cross-examining, I will get my.
I'm talking about juror question. I'm talking about jury instructions and voir dire questions. You understand now? You
I don't
didn't
have-
follow, listen, I know, but you've waived that because you have not provided them. Do you understand that? You understand that?
No, I don't. I don't
Okay.
understand that. I didn't understand that.
Okay, well, I
That's why-
can't advise you of the law because I'm not an attorney, I'm a judge.
No, but you
So,
were looking at the case and you've been presiding over my case for 3 years now.
I know, it's fine,
You're the
you're
one-
gonna go to
You're the one
trial.
that signed the warrant for my arrest while I was in jail.
I don't know that, I don't
Yes,
remember.
you did do that.
Okay, I'm allowed to do that.
No, you violated my rights as well.
Okay, well, you have options, you can file a complaint with the JTC if you'd like. So, are you prepared to go to trial?
Absolutely.
Have you provided your witness list?
I haven't yet, but I will.
Okay, that was due.
My witness list was provided when, Ms. Underwood was my attorney.
Okay,
And my witness list is,
have you subpoenaed any witnesses that were not on the prosecutor's raised just eyewitness list?
yes, my witnesses are the ones that was there at the scene.
No.
And
Do
yes,
you understand that you have to provide a witness list and you have to provide a copy to the prosecutor? Do you understand that?
prosecutor, I gotta provide what to him?
So if you're gonna have witnesses at trial, you need to make sure the prosecutor has their name and contact information so that they could interview them prior to trial if they wanted. Do you understand
Well,
that?
they got all that information.
They do?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
my witnesses are my parents and my aunt.
Your aunt and parents are your witnesses. The only explanation for this degree of ignorance is that your mother used your newborn skull as a bowling ball numerous times. Will they testify to this?
okay, I don't know. Are those on, if they're not on the people's witness?
Curtis,
I'm not sure.
Okay,
Road.
if you haven't provided a witness list and they're not on the people's list, you understand you won't be able to call them.
Okay, I will provide the information. I
Okay.
will provide that information. Yeah.
I'm just telling you. So you need to make sure that there's a witness list in the file that was provided to the people.
So I gotta re-provide it.
I don't know. Go back and look at what
I'll
witness
just-
list
I'll
has
just
been
do that
filed,
next week.
their name, their contact information, and then, any subpoenas you have to do. If you have to subpoena anybody to be present, you need to get those filed this week. And then the court signs them and then you serve those people with those. You understand? Now, do you understand when we go to trial, a lot of times some of the questions you ask or he asks may be objected to, and it's not personal, it's just, we have to follow the law.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm allowed to object too, though, right?
huh?
I'm allowed to object too.
You are, and then you have to provide the basis for that objection. Okay, so you need to understand your objections. So you might want to do some research to understand.
I've been doing.
Good, good. You sure you don't want a public defender for trial?
Huh?
You sure you don't want an attorney for trial?
I'm not gonna take any of the attorneys from here because they're all corrupt.
For the same reason that all flat earthers, anti-vaxxers, and moon landing skeptics believe science is corrupt, it seems since that all sovereign people believe all lawyers are corrupt. In actuality, it is simpler to claim that everything is corrupt and that there is only a conspiracy than it is to acknowledge that you are insane and that crayons shouldn't taste as wonderful as they do. However, we have 2 more cases to handle, and he has an imminent court.
What is your name?
I am Brian. My family name is Wilkinson.
All right. We'll go on the record in state of Kansas versus Brian J. Wilkinson. Case number 25 CR 67. The state appears by County Attorney Darren DeVinny. Mr. Wilkinson appears in person by Zoom. We're here for a first appearance. Mr. Wilkinson, you're appearing by a summons. I'm going to go over your charges with you. There are 3 counts, all alleged to have occurred on June 4th, 2024 in Butler County, Kansas. Count 1 alleges you were in unlawful possession of methamphetamine. That is a level 5 drug felony. Count 2 alleges you are in unlawful possession of paraphernalia for use. That is a Class B non-person misdemeanor. Count 3 is an allegation of possession of marijuana, also a Class B non-person misdemeanor. Do you understand what you've been charged with, Mr. Wilkinson?
I do not understand, Your Honor.
Yeah, what don't you understand?
I had thought that this matter was already settled on the case that that Mr. Watts was representing me for.
Okay, I'm not aware of that particular matter. That may have been a different case. I'm not sure.
Well, there wasn't a different case. I mean, I wasn't, I wasn't, attacked and assaulted and kidnapped, two different times, just one time.
Are you sure about that? I mean, sovereign citizens struggle counting from 1 to 2, especially after taking a few spins down Crystal Lane.
Mr.
And,
Devaney, do you know anything about another case involving Mr. Wilkinson?
Let's see. Well, I know his criminal history. I know he's a B on the grid. He has out of at least Butler County cases, we've got a driving while suspended, an old a 23 traffic case that's closed. And then he has this open case now for possession of methamphetamine.
Do you know of, is there one where Mr. Watts representing that you know of?
Not that I'm aware of. Well, Your Honor.
All right. Well, I don't know, Mr. Wilkinson. That can be sorted out. Can you afford to hire an attorney to represent you?
I'm sui juris.
Excuse me?
I'm sui juris, and I would appreciate it, Your Honor, if you would recite your oath of office, your delegation of authority order, and your bond information.
I'm not going to do that, Mr. Wilkinson. Can you afford to hire an attorney?
I am not a ward of the court. I'm not an idiot. I know how to speak for myself.
Okay. Do you wish to represent yourself?
Well, I am myself. I can't represent myself, but yes,
I
will be talking for myself.
All right. You understand you have a right to have an attorney represent you on this case?
Yeah, but that makes me a ward of the court. If I am seen as too stupid to talk for myself.
Do you understand that if you can't afford an attorney to represent you, one would be appointed for you?
I also understand that all attorneys' first duty is for the court and not for their client.
Let's get things clear then. The role of a public defender is to protect the defendant's real legal rights, not to pretend to be a legal ninja like you. In addition to their duty to their clients, public defenders take an oath to the court and the legal system to tell the truth and submit genuine motions rather than filling the docket with irrational trash that could result in their punishment or disbarment. Therefore, when a sovereign citizen claims that their attorney served the court, what they really mean is that their attorney refused to file their 3-page manifesto regarding Admiralty banners and birth certificates, which would have made them look foolish.
So
do you understand you have that right, Mr. Wilkinson?
I do understand my rights, yes.
Okay.
Your Honor.
I'm going to go ahead and appoint James Watts to represent you if you think that he's represented you on something that may be in line with this case. So he'll be with you when you appear back in front of me, and that'll be on my preliminary hearing control docket. Do you have something to write with, Mr.
Yes,
Wilkinson?
sir.
All right. Your court date will be in front of me by Zoom on May the 19th at 2:30.
May 19th, 2:30 p.m.
That's correct. Do you have Mr.
Okay.
Watts' contact information?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
You might contact his office and let them know that court date. We need to set a bond. Mr. Devaney, what's your recommendation for bond?
The defendant does appear here voluntarily by summons here today, so I'd request a $10,000 OR bond for the defendant.
What was the amount?
$10,000.
All right, I'll set a $10,000 OR bond. He'll need to be processed, I'm assuming.
Well, he initially had a first appearance back on June 5th of 24 at 1:30. At that point, we were waiting on KBI Labs and we released him. So I believe he's actually been arrested and processed.
Okay.
He just needs to come to 201 West Pine. If he can make it here today before 5, that's great. If not, probably on Monday to come up to the front desk so he can sign his bond.
All right, Mr. Wilkinson, can you make it up to the Judicial Center this afternoon to sign your OR bond?
It'll probably need to be Monday, Your Honor.
I find it fascinating that sovereign persons consistently refuse to enter into contracts with the court, claiming that the court lacks jurisdiction, but they have no trouble signing a contract with the court that grants them an extra layer of authority in order to obtain a PR bond. All right, we're going to Texas for our last hearing.
Good morning, Your Honor. My Christian name is Jose, and my family name is Elizondo. I am the bailiff today, and respectfully ask the issues to raise.
Wait, Mr. Elizondo, wait. Jose Elizondo, I show that you have one case pending, and that is expired registration. Do you understand that's the charge that is pending against you?
Yes, I understand, but respectfully.
Okay, sir. Okay, hang on. There's several steps we need to take over. Were you able to hear my explanation about defendants' rights and options that I went over at the start of court?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about those rights or options?
Yes.
Go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, respectfully, I haven't received my documentation that I requested in a timely manner to proceed today.
No. What is your question? No, Mr. Elizondo, no. What is your question about the rights and options that I went over at the start of court?
I have no questions regarding that.
Okay, then to this charge of expired registration. Actually, I'm going to stop and say you mailed in payment.
I did.
You mailed in $3, and you have a balance due of $129. So with that payment of $3, we've already entered a plea of no contest for you because Texas law allows that to be entered for you. So we're set here to determine, are you able to make the balance of your payment by Monday, or do you need some time to pay that out?
Your Honor, respectfully, as a bailor and grantor, I've granted this court equitable title for settlement of any.
No, sir. This is a criminal court. No,
sir.
Mr. Elizondo, this is not a civil court. There are no parties like that in this proceeding. You're a defendant. You're not a grantor. I'm the judge. And so that does not apply to this court. You may have read that might be something in a civil court. That does not apply here. So my question to you, sir, is since you've already mailed in payment and indicated a plea of no contest by mailing in a payment under Texas law, can you get the balance paid by Monday? Or do you need some time to pay that out? Or do you have a financial situation that you need a financial packet?
Your Honor, for the record, respectfully, I am a Texas common law free man. I do not participate in corporate Ponzi schemes that require me to have registration.
This is not that, sir. This is not, Mr. Elizondo, stop. Mr. Elizondo, stop. This is not the time to make a statement. You see, we have like 12 other people who are set here. You're set on a criminal